Hi, today I want to show you how I use Photoshop, a photo editing software, to increase the brightness and to see more details that makes it easier to draw the animal portrait. So let's dive in. If you're a beginner, I invite you to download my free beginner's guide. You can find the link below in the description. You will receive a lot of tips and tricks that are helpful for your start with drawing animal portraits with pastels.
So here I have opened this dog reference photo in Photoshop, and I want to show you here how you can brighten it up a bit and make more details visible. This photo was taken outside in a shadow, in a very shady area, and now we have a very dark reference photo. And we don't see the eyes, we don't see a lot of details in the fur, and it is very hard to draw. Maybe you will receive a reference photo like this from a client, and you want to draw a commission, and this dog has passed away, and unfortunately there are no more pictures available, or it is an older photo taken some years ago, and the client really wants to have that drawn. This is the favorite photo of the dog. Then I would try to get the most of the photo out of it and change the brightness a bit in a photo editing program like here, Photoshop. You can also do that with other editing programs. I will here go to image and adjustment, and then here is brightness and contrast, and there you can change the brightness and the contrast of the picture. And then let's increase the brightness a bit, and then we see, voila, when we really increase the brightness a lot, we see much more details here. So we see more of the clumps of the hair, we see the nose a bit better. Let's zoom in. I say okay, and zoom in a bit. So it is better, but the photo has a very low resolution, and we see the nose a bit more. We see here fur details in the face. What I also try to do, maybe take that selection tool here and select the part of the snout and go again in with the brightness, image adjustment and brightness, and make it even more a bit bright. And let's see if we can see the nostrils. Now we can see here some highlights on the nose and the nostrils a bit better. I then also print that reference photo out or save it, but also keep the bit of a darker version for the colors in the fur. Let's also try that. Maybe we can, maybe we can see a bit more also in the eyes when we brighten them up a bit. Yes, when we brighten them up a bit, we see a bit better the outlines, and we see here a bit of the eyeball, and maybe we can have an imagination where the highlight should be. So this I would do when I have such a reference photo that was taken really in the shadow. We cannot see a lot of details also here in that fur area. Maybe let's also try to brighten that up. And then you see here, for example, more details. Where is it lighter? Where can we add highlights? Where is it darker? Here I have a reference photo of a beautiful chocolate brown Labrador. I have drawn this beautiful dog for my students in my membership Animal Art Club. This is a beautiful, really nice reference photo with a lot of highlights here on top. We see a lot of details, the fur direction, brilliant eyes, and so on. But we don't see here below the fur really very well. It is in the shadow. We don't see the fur direction. Where should we add highlights? I don't want only to draw a black area here. I want to add details. What I then do is to open the photo here in the photo editing software, in my case Photoshop, and take this selection tool here with the brush, and then select here that part. So I do it again, select here that darker part, and then go to, again, image adjustments, brightness and contrast, and increase the brightness, and voila. We then see here below a lot of clumps and hair that we can then add into our drawing. You see here the fur direction is going to the left upwards. Here we have a separate clump, here one. Here we see now fur that is going to the right. Here we see some more details. Before this was very dark. And then when you increase it, you can see more. I like to do that. Open the picture on the computer screen, or if you don't have two devices, then just save it and print it out in a lighter version. So this is really helpful to bring in more details into your portrait. And here I would like to show you how you can also increase the brightness of eyes to see more details, more light reflections. Here we have a beautiful horse, but the eye is very dark. We see not a lot of reflections. We see it a little bit, but I want to show you how you can brighten it up and see more of the highlights. So let's zoom in a bit. And we see here in the eyes, here a bit of the sky, and here some light reflections. When you then take this selection tool and select here only the part of the eye, and also make it a bit lighter, image adjustments, brightness, and increase the brightness. So then you see all the reflections in the eye. You see the sand. It looks like a riding place. You see mountains. You see some trees, fields. You see here the highlights below. In the normal position, it was only black and you don't see a lot. So you can then really brighten it up and see more of all these reflections and draw them in a bit. You also see here the inner corner that's a bit fleshy. You see here that here is the darkest area around, but inside you can bring in more details. So many beautiful things are in there in the light reflection, but we don't see them here. If you brighten it up, you can even draw it more detailed. Okay, so I hope you find these tips helpful and can use them in future if you receive such dark reference photos where you don't see details, where you don't see the eyes. Maybe you could then use Photoshop or another editing software to brighten the photo up, and then you have it easier to draw beautiful animal portraits. If you are a beginner, I invite you again to download my free beginner's guide. You can find it in the link below in the description, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Then I'll see you in the next video. Have a great time!